If there's one thing I can say about Death Stranding is that as a game, it is 100% fully invested in its world, narrative, and metaphors. As soon as the player hits the start button, the game is going to start pushing the player, sometimes with a heavy hand, into participating in the world of Death Stranding 100% of the time. Doesn't mean that the game is linear or, fixed, that there's a fixed way to play it, because the game actually does promote creativity. This is still very much an open world action adventure game. Like, the game wants you to use problem solving and think outside the box when doing your different deliveries and getting from point A to point B. However, it wants you to think and adjust your problem solving to that of someone who is an active participant in the world. You will be punished for doing what would be considered dumbass shit in this world. For example, this game has both lethal and non-lethal weaponry that you can use to deal with, antagonists, the good old enemies, the big bads in the game. So in theory, you can take a bunch of lethal weaponry, go to an enemy base and blow that shit up, kill everybody. You can just wipe them off the face of the earth. It'll be hard. You'll probably die because Sam isn't some superhero, but you can do it. However, now you need to haul 20 to 30 human bodies to an incinerator, because guess what? Every one of those bodies is a nuclear device, because their souls are going to try to come back and their bodies fail and pretty much bake a giant nuclear explosion that's also going to attract demons from the other side. So now you're making everything significantly harder than it had to be, especially since that incinerator is probably 1,000 miles away in the opposite direction. And also, you can only carry between 1 to 8 bodies at one time, meaning you have to make multiple trips back to this enemy base and hope that nobody explodes in that time frame. Or alternatively, you could just use the non-lethal weaponry and do the exact same thing with no repercussions. Don't worry, all of that's gonna make sense in a little bit, but you see what I mean? Like you have to think as if you are participating in this world. You could do that, but it'd be fucking stupid and make the game extremely difficult to play. Yeah, ludonarrative dissonance, that shit is afraid of this game. There is no Nathan Drake, I'm gonna talk about archaeology, be happy-go-lucky, and then go kill 300 people and just be like, kitty got wet. This won't affect my mental health at all. Subway. It's what winners eat. But yeah, the game wanting you to be invested on that level is usually a good thing. I would say about 70% of the time when I actually wanted to play the game, it was a pretty good thing. You would get on, do a couple of deliveries, and not realize that like 4 hours went by. That's a sign of a good game to me. However, it can be fatiguing when you like hit that point where it's just like, what the fuck am I even doing? Like it can get fucking tiring real quick, especially when shit just starts going wrong way too much. Especially when random glitches happen or you fall off a cliff because you just locked out for like a millisecond. For some reason, bosses just keep spawning in. I've never wanted to turn off a game so fucking fast. If I was playing the game for 6 hours, as soon as I see myself falling off a cliff and all my cargo getting destroyed, that game got cut the fuck off so fast.
Nigga, what the fuck is this bullshit?
However, before we get too deep into talking about mechanics and the themes of the story, I think I want to give y'all at least the background information of what's going on, because I don't want to spoil the major things, but we'll have little bits and pieces here and there. Don't worry, this is not about to be a 40-minute plot summary. I actually think the story is worth your time. It's worth your investment because it's actually pretty good, even with all the stupid shit in it. There is a lot of stupid shit in this story, but I would say about 85.3% of this story is good. Like it's worth it. Even if you just, look up a cutscene compilation after this video ends, I'd consider that a job well done on my part. Shotgun summary, ready, set, go.
You are the most peculiar thing that I've seen. What does it mean? I'm between.
In the near distant future, humanity has discovered the afterlife. They also discovered that everything that's lived and everything that will live has a connection to the afterlife known as a beach. So of course humanity goes, hey, we have access to 4.6 billion years of living memory basically. Why don't we use it to make the internet better? Which is just a depressingly realistic and also incredibly accurate thing for humanity to fucking do in response to the afterlife. Hey guys, we actually have a solid answer to the metaphysical question, what happens after death? Can we turn it into virtual RAM? In order to use the beach as the internet, they have to take these babies that are born from mothers who die while they're giving birth to them and immediately put them into these artificial wombs full of Four Loko. So now this not quite dead, not quite alive baby in an artificial womb full of gamer sups can now be used to connect to the beach, thus allowing them to make the new internet known as the chiral network. And now these babies in these artificial wombs are known as BBs, or bridge babies, because they are bridges to the other side. But spaghetti-o, it turns out putting fiber optic cables in the afterlife is a bad idea, so it kind of causes the apocalypse. So now the afterlife and the land of the living are almost combining together. In fact, it's causing these things called BTs, or beached things, to appear, which are people whose souls cannot leave the area where they died in because of the fact that their bodies weren't properly dealt with. Because now, due to having bridge babies and doing all this shit with the chiral network, people can no longer properly pass on. Now when people pass, they go to the beach, but their souls naturally try to go backwards towards their bodies, but their bodies are no longer alive. So when they try to return to their bodies, they cause these things called void outs, because their bodies and their souls are made of matter and antimatter. When they combine together, they pretty much form an antimatter bomb, wiping out everything in like a 100-mile radius. It's like a nuke goes off. So now when people die, you have to burn their body. However, for some people who unfortunately get caught in void outs or die in certain ways where they weren't really able to get burned, their souls can be stuck on the planet and basically become these antimatter demons that are either trying to get over to the other side or get into an actual living body, which then causes them to lash out and kill people who are living, and then the cycle repeats. And sometimes these BTs can coagulate into something even more horrifying. You play as Sam Run Them Hands Porter Bridges, a post-apocalyptic delivery man, because nobody can really use cars or robots anymore. So now we have to depend on people again to deliver supplies and packages. Now Sam is pretty disconnected from reality. He doesn't really give a shit about what's going on. He almost feels like there's nothing to tie him to this world. He almost feels not quite dead, but not quite alive in a way. Wink, wink, Nudge, nudge. However, this all changes when Sam learns that his adopted sister, Amelie, has been kidnapped by a group known as the Homo Demons. And before you say anything, that is not what I called them. That is what they called themselves. They're called the Homo Demons. They're called the Homo Demons. I looked at it's Homo Demons. The reason that she got kidnapped was because she's trying to reestablish the chiral network. Yes, the same thing that destroyed the world, but this time it's better. We swear. And Amelie also is the daughter of the president, who is passing away. So in her dying breath, the president tells Sam to go save Amelie and establish the chiral network. While he doesn't really want to do the chiral network part, he knows that he needs to do it to save Amelie, so he's almost just kind of doing this just as a means to an end to save his sibling. So now you, the player, Sam Porter Bridges, must head westward across the United States from what remains of Washington, D.C., all the way to California to set up the chiral network and hopefully save Amelie if she's not dead. And that is all I'm going to say about it, because I don't want to spoil the rest of it. The story's worth it. I already said that. Even if you watch a cutscene compilation after you watch this video, it'll be enough. That's a win for me. That's a win.
I left on the sunniest day, by your side, gold-plated sin.
Now, as you're making this journey, mostly on foot, you will be able to create stuff to help you as you're establishing the chiral network and making your way westward. As you increase your connections, you'll be able to make more structures and more things to help you, from grenades to motorcycles in the beginning to bridges and zip lines and cargo cannons later on. Now, this is where the Strand type gameplay begins to, fully come into play. When a lot of people initially heard about Death Stranding or even first started playing it, the major comparison that it got was to Dark Souls. Oh, it's just a bunch of people on a server who can kind of help each other a little bit and maybe help each other during a boss fight. We've seen this before, right? Now, I would say that I actually disagree with this notion, because the online functionality of this game is way more fleshed out than anything any Souls game has ever done, except for maybe Elden Ring. I don't know. I've only played 3 hours of that game in 2 years. The reason I think this is because Dark Souls and all the other Souls games kind of feel like multiplayer games that you play by yourself, while Death Stranding feels more like a single player game you play together. I don't know if that makes any sense, because in Souls-like games, the most that you can do online wise, while it is convoluted, is usually pretty direct. You can summon people to do PvP, you can summon people to do PvE, and you can drop bad hints to make people jump off cliffs. In Death Stranding, however, you're still playing this game by yourself. However, while you can't see anyone on the server, everyone is interacting with the world on the server you're on, because as you connect things on the chiral network, you're able to see everyone's structures, hideouts, equipment, vehicles. There's share lockers where you could share equipment and materials online, and you could interact with everybody's shit at the same time, kind of like a community, again, because the main theme of this game is connections and what have you. And all of these structures and things that you see on the chiral network that belong to other people and that you make yourself, everybody can pitch in and upgrade. For example, one of the craziest things I saw in the early game, right when you get to the middle America, there's this highway, right? There's this highway that goes all the way through across this mountain to the more western part of the United States. And I remember I built 2 sections of the road by myself, and I was completely connected to the online, but I just decided to log off for a week and a half. And when I came back, the road was done, and I had 98,000 likes on my 2 sections of the road. And as the game went on, we kept upgrading it and expanding it and making sure to fix it, because in this universe there's also this thing called timefall, because the world's all fucked up. There's now this fucking rain can advance age everything you make, and people kept coming back to fix it and kept coming back to make the road even longer and added ramps and added hideouts on the side. And it's just a really cool way to see a community interact without ever directly talking to each other. This is not a Souls game. I'm telling you, it is way different. The amount of times that I was saved by an online hideout or an online vehicle being in the right spot because everybody else got stuck there, magnificent. It was cinematic almost. The mountains in this game are one of the worst biomes to be on. The only reason that mountain region was tolerable to me was because other players were building zip zip lines while I was offline, because I didn't touch that game for like a month after I got there. But while I didn't build anything there, I made sure to do my part. You know, I was pulling all sorts of materials to keep them shits up, because man, mountains of this game fucking suck. They fucking suck. And another way that you can see all the players on the server interact is through like the routes that you make, because route creation is one of the most important things in this game. How and like what you do and what you're bringing with you and how you're gonna get from point A to point Z to point Y to point X to point Q is one of the most fundamental parts of this game. And when you're on a server with other players, even if the chiral network in your area is not on and you can't see their structures, you can see all of their pleasure paths, because all the other players on the server are also looking for routes and are also looking for easy paths. So you can find all these places where like there's basically naturally forming dirt roads cutting through mountains and cutting over hills and like right next to bridges, and they make it easier to drive on, easier to walk on, easier to carry all the bullshit you need to carry to the next place. And it's really cool because you didn't make that path. All the other players did. All the other players were having these same thoughts as you were, and were trying to find the path of least resistance to get to the next area. And they found it, and they kept using it and kept using it and kept using it. And now you found it, you can keep using it. And now you just have this dirt road going through this fucking mountain. Like it's dope, dude. This ain't no fucking Souls game. One of the things I also appreciate about this game is that it really wants you to use the items in it to your advantage, like all the time. Because when you take items and equipment with you, you can't really hoard them. Like you can hide, you know, blood bags and like these item pouches, and you can hide grenades in the grenade pouches, but you can't really hoard equipment because you have to carry your equipment physically along with your cargo, which means that whatever you're about to do, you gotta be smart about it, and you gotta know that you're gonna use pretty much everything. Having the items be physical cargo along with the actual cargo you have to carry, because you know you have to maintain Sam's balance, you have to maintain Sam's endurance and Sam's stamina. Having that actually have weight and like affect your character and you can see it promotes the use of those items in the game, which is fucking sick, because now you know that if I need a ladder, I'm gonna use that ladder. That ladder's got to get used at some point because I have too much cargo on my back, or I have too much shit in my truck. You know, I have too much shit on my bike. You know, there's too much stuff on the floating carriers. You know what I mean? Like you have to use the equipment that's being provided, and you have to be smart about what you're taking with you. You're going into BT territory. Oh, you might want to bring some hematic grenades or something. You might want to bring one gun, but if you take that one gun, that's gonna be on your, you know, your little equipment waistband. So now that's all that space gone. So where are you gonna put the rest of your cargo? You're gonna put it on the truck and you're going through BT territory? You sure you want to do that? You have to do all these problem solving sequences while fully participating in the world, like I said before, because you can't do stupid shit or else these deliveries ain't getting done. You're getting an F. You are not gonna be the master porter. But ladies and gentlemen, as much as I like a lot of the mechanics in this game, don't let it fool you. There is still a shit ton of bullshit in it. For one, the boss fights, all of them except like 2 of them, complete dog shit. Complete dog shit. Complete dog shit. Let me say it one more time. Complete dog shit. They look really cool until you realize, wow, this is the bulletest, spongiest motherfucker I've ever fought in a video game. Dear God, why is it here? I'm telling you, a lot of them look real cool, man. A lot of them look real cool. 15 seconds, fire. The minute you hit 15 and a half, 16.1, this shit is dog shit. But then again, in reality, I don't think Hideo Kojima has ever designed a good boss fight. All of his good boss fights are just not awful. People bring up, oh, well, what about fucking 12-shot revolver ocelot? Dude, that boss fight fucking sucked. Oh, you gotta stand on the cliff. Watch out for the ravine. Watch out for the bees. You're gonna fall down that bitch anyway. That fight sucks. But back to the main thing. For a game that is so heavily based on weight and physics and the physics of movement and climbing and all this other shit, the inconsistencies in the physics of both Sam and every vehicle he drives fucking drove me up a goddamn wall. This shit was ridiculous. I'm telling you, I'd be playing the game 4 hours smooth sailing, even through tough terrain. All of a sudden, the cars don't want to drive and Sam don't want to walk. The speed at which I would cut this game the fuck off and not play it for weeks if I ended up, you know, careening off of some cliff just because I couldn't move him. He just wouldn't move right. I'm telling you, and the reason that it would hurt so bad and why I would turn off the game so fast and not play it for so long was because it would get you that invested, and then just some fucking tomfoolery would happen. Also, the writing in this game is full of hullabaloo and malarkey, dude. I said 85% of the story is good. That's true. but he's turned up the gobbledygook up to like 1 million. Like nobody was fact checking this shit. Nobody was overlooking anything. There was no rewrites. I don't know what was going on. There's some malarkey in this bad boy. There is no world where Princess Beach is a good line of dialogue. They used that fucking "I'm fragile, but I'm not that fragile" line like 5 times in the story, and it didn't hit a single time. Like there was some goofy goober shit in this fucking game. Also, the rates at which you get XP at certain bases for doing deliveries, garbage, buddy, garbage. You could do a whole ass delivery with like a fucking antimatter bomb, 3,600 pounds of tungsten, and a dandelion where you can't, make the dandelion's fucking pollen blow away or some shit, all at the same time. Deliver it to a base and get like 2 picoliters of XP. Sorry, you gotta do that 4,800 more times to actually get to 5 stars. It's fucking bullshit, dude. Rate of XP drops didn't make sense because some later bases would give you a shit ton of XP for doing like 2 deliveries over easy terrain. Meanwhile, you're trying to get to the fucking mountaineer. He needs like a shit ton of garbage, and you barely get 3 stars after doing like 16 deliveries. It's dumb, bro. Just dumb. Also, just the mountains. Just the worst biome of all time. The mountains just, oh my god. How come I can't use my fucking in-game iPod in-game? How come I can only listen to the low roar and shit when Hideo Kojima wants me to listen to the low roar? 300 songs on the soundtrack. I can't hear any of them. The fuck? You can't even use like the PlayStation Spotify app. They're like, we disabled that shit. You just gotta walk around in silence. I still like this game a lot. There's just also a lot of hullabaloo, dude. Just some fucking malarkey.
You only come out at night.
If I had to take all of the themes and ideas and metaphors that are going on in this game, because there's a lot, like I said, nobody was proofreading this shit, I feel like I could boil it down to 2 or 3 things. First being connections and taking them for granted. In this game, Hideo Kojima is arguing that the fact that we can text anyone, call anyone, FaceTime anyone, etc., with the powers of the internet and Metro PCS, the fact that we can do that so actively and so actively reach out to anyone and everyone we've ever met or become friends with or family members with or what have you, we take it for granted. And the main example I can give is that in this game, there's a couple. They were planning on getting married. They used to live in a city. The city voids out. Somebody died, didn't get to an incinerator. City nuked. It's gone. No longer exists. And they both escaped, but neither of them knew where the other was. They didn't know how to find each other. There was no way to call or contact each other. So they both just ended up becoming recluse, assuming the other was dead. Turns out they've been living next to each other the whole time. They're like a mile apart. And the minute you set up the chiral network, they can find each other like 2 seconds later. Then it devolves into some stuff about marriage and things about that you can read in emails. It's not that important. But the main thing here is that connections are important. And the fact that we have so many and can so easily reach out and talk to people and, nurture these connections, and the fact that we don't in the modern day is a waste. And the second theme, I'd say Hideo Kojima is just actively discussing or toying with the ideas of the meaning of life, death, tragedy, what it means for, the world to end versus like a personal tragedy, which is almost like a personal world ending. Now that I'm thinking about it out loud, it almost feels like this entire game, like its premise, like all the metaphors, all the themes, everything that he's doing, it almost feels like he revisited Snake's speech from the end of Metal Gear Solid 2. And because of all the things that he was going through in his life at the time, with his parents passing away and getting fired from Konami and all this other stuff, it seems that he revisited that speech and then decided to make a whole game expanding on the ideas in that speech. And you can really see that in the second half of the game, because the second half of the game starts to toy with the whole idea of like, what's the point of living if you're just gonna die? What's the point of existence if you're just gonna, become extinct? What's the point of adapting and evolving if the threat of being wiped out by some outside force is always there? And the answer that Hideo Kojima provides, that he comes to, is that extinction is opportunity. The reason that life still exists today is because through all, 5 previous extinction events that all of life has gone through, that life has been able to evolve and manipulate itself and adapt itself into the best version of itself at that time to survive whatever potential extinction event could hit it. And that life now carries on all of those memories, genetic or otherwise, genetic, behavioral, connection based, all these memories of evolving and adapting. And that's the reason life exists, and our duty as current life life is to keep evolving and adapting in spite of the threat of extinction, so we can not only move towards the future but also provide whatever new form of life will form under the threat of extinction with the memories and the genetic code, again, behavioral or otherwise, to adapt and continue living on. Which again is very similar to the Metal Gear Solid 2 speech, you know, the whole we're not just passing down our genes, we're passing down our art and our culture and da 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 da. It almost feels like he just decided to make a whole video game about that. Kojima also makes the argument that you owe it to yourself to continue to exist because you exist already. The debt you owe to yourself for existence is continuing to evolve and adapt irregardless of extinction existing. And that could even, you know, be boiled down to any type of tragedy. It doesn't have to be, you know, super omega, we discovered the afterlife extinction. It could just be like getting fired from a job, losing a family member. Those are versions of your world ending. I had a completely different world earlier this year before I lost my job. You know what I mean? That world's extinct now. That world got voided out. So what he's saying is that in spite of that, I have to keep evolving and adapting irregardless of that extinction due to the fact that I owe the debt of existence to myself. You exist, therefore you must continue to exist until you no longer can, because that's the debt you owe yourself. You owe yourself your existence. And it's not only the debt you owe yourself, it's the debt you owe existence yourself, because existence is a middle finger to the nothingness that was before. I think that feels like what the game's saying. At least the headspace where I was at while I was playing it, that's what it feels like the game's saying, which is really cool. Doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. I guess another way you could say it is that the fact that you exist is enough evidence in of itself that you deserve to continue to exist, because existence is already a middle finger to nothingness and you exist. So your existence already inherently justifies itself. That's kind of what the game feels like it's saying. I don't know. I'm not smart. You know, I got a fucking 497 on my MCAT. You know what, dude? There's a low chance I get into med school. I'm not that smart. I try to pay attention. I try to listen, and I try to interpret. And that was the interpretation I got. I hope it's accurate, at least somewhat. It kind of makes sense. It also kind of doesn't make sense. But that's kind of the entire game. So, yeah. That's it. That's all I have. That's all I have for the game. Game's good. I'd recommend playing it. I don't know if this is after the hype video. If it is, it lived up to the hype, in my opinion. It both lived up to the hype and is both a hidden gem. Also, it annoyed the shit out of me, and also it kind of sucked, but it was also kind of awesome, which is kind of an allegory for life itself, isn't it? Sometimes shit's going good while you're doing hard shit, and sometimes shit is going terribly while you're supposed to be doing easy shit. That's life sometimes. Sometimes the hard shit's easy, the easy shit's hard, vice versa. Sometimes you can keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and you constantly find the energy to do that, and once you make it to your goal, you fucking realize that you're still sad. But that's okay, because that's life. Now deliver the fucking cargo.